Hello. In this screencast, we will talk about views and how Django creates its views and where do they go. So your views would probably be in a file named views.py. It's not exactly required. Your URLs can reference other files too, but it's generally a very strong convention within the Django community that the code for views should be in a file named views.py. Each view would be a function. So here we have a view called admin entry edit. So the first parameter to this function is always called a request. This will be a Django HTTP request object will be passed to this. Other than that, it can take any number of arguments, and these arguments would be captured in the URLs and passed to it via urls.py. So this view function requires at least one other argument to it called entry ID. So the capturing URL pattern needs to capture this parameter and then pass it to this function called admin entry edit. Now you will see that all this is standard Python and Django code. Here we have a form. This could have been either a forms.form or forms.model form, and here we are passing it some data to initialize this form. You'll note that there is a decorator called staff member required, which is applied to this function. This is generally the common decorators are login required, staff member required, super user required, but you can write your own decorator, and they serve functions such as caching or adding caching or limiting access. For example, login required will limit access to only logged in users to this view. So here we are using the parameter the argument we got called entry ID, and we are using that to get one blog entry object via a get object or 404, and then we are passing this to be forms.entry form, which is a forms.model form or forms.form. And if it were a request.get, this template would have been rendered with this data and returned back as a HTTP response. Here we are handling the post as well. The first part handles the get, and this part handles post. This is a fairly standard pattern as well. A get and post followed in the same function, and after a successful post, doing a redirect to the same view function or to the same URL pattern. The post after get the get after post pattern. It's a fairly standard pattern in Django. So here you will see that if it were a post, then request.post would be true, and then we will pass the request.post to the same form which was used for displaying. Here it's used for validation, and so we are checking if the form is valid, and then we are creating a new entry, doing some more actions on them, actually saving the object so that it gets written to the database, doing some more database operations, and then finally doing a HTTP response redirect via a redirect call, and this will send us back. We do this so that multiple posts do not save the data multiple times. So you'll note that all this is standard Django code. The things to note are that it should always take request as the first parameter. It can take any other number of arguments, and it should always return either a HTTP response, which can come from either render to response, or it should return a HTTP response redirect, which can be a direct return HTTP response redirect, or it can come from a redirect or some other call like that.